People constantly ask me, how can you be so confident that conventional medicine is wrong? Or how can you be so sure that nutrition guidelines are backwards? Or how can you be so certain red meat is actually healthy? And I'll tell you why. The answer is very simple. I don't trust conventional health advice at all. And not just because I'm a conspiracy theorist or just like to disagree. Every time I dig deep and check a bit of their advice, it completely falls apart. And they're not just a little bit off, they're almost always completely backwards. Nearly every evidence-based pharmaceutical treatment or nutrition guideline that I've evaluated turns out to be complete and utter nonsense. Our chronic disease rates prove it. The system clearly is not working because a system built on lies for profit is going to do far more harm than good. But my distrust in the conventional medical system isn't just intellectual, it's personal for me. Because when I was 12 years old, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid and psoriatic arthritis, two autoimmune diseases. And I was told the standard autoimmune disease story. My immune system was attacking itself. They had no idea why. It might be genetic, but unfortunately there's no cure and I would just have to take medication, likely for the rest of my life. Now, this news absolutely terrified me. I had future visions of crippled joints and rashes on my skin forever, and it was terrifying. But thankfully, I woke up and I started to question all of this conventional dogma. I developed faith in my biology and my health, and I started digging into natural healing. Over the last 5 years, I've gone on quite the journey, and I've dug into a lot of different stuff. But in just the last 2 months, I've uncovered some absolutely groundbreaking stuff. Terrain-based doctors like Dr. Tom Cowan and Dr. Andrew Kaufman have really revealed the truth about autoimmune disease to me, and it's clear that what we're told is not the truth at all. Conventional medicine is so wrong about autoimmune diseases. There's actually no clear proof that the immune system is attacking your own tissue. That's just a theory that they made up. And these specific antibodies that are specific to each autoimmune disease, turns out those aren't specific at all. And not every patient actually has them. So at first, to define an autoimmune disease, you match the symptom criteria and then you test for the antibodies. And there's rheumatoid arthritis specific antibodies, psoriasis specific antibodies. Turns out not every patient had these antibodies. So they had to come up with an excuse so they could keep their theory. And instead of restarting from scratch and coming up with a new idea as to what causes autoimmune disease, like real scientists should do, they doubled down and said, screw it, we're sticking to our theory. So they said, okay, there's antibody negative autoimmune disease patients, essentially patients with all the same symptoms of joint pain or psoriasis rash without the antibodies. All these things we're told about autoimmune diseases really just fall apart when you look at them in detail. And so what I've found out is that the real issue is not your immune system turning against itself. It's not self-destruction. It's simply toxicity, toxin overload. And it manifests in different ways depending on the toxin and how different people respond to these toxins. So if this is all true, you should be able to remove toxins from your life, support your body in detoxing them, and hypothetically recover from your autoimmune disease. And this is exactly what happened to me. Immediately, I stopped toxic medication when I uncovered the truth about autoimmune disease. And over the last 2 months, I've focused on thorough detox and supporting my body to get rid of these things that are causing joint pain and rashes. I was already living a pretty clean lifestyle, but I realized I had a ton of toxicity stored up in my body. And today, I'm happy to say I feel better than I've ever felt in my entire life. I've gone the last 2 months with less symptoms than I've ever had in my entire life. I'm off all my medications and I'm feeling better every single week. There are tons of these stories where people go through these thorough detox protocols and they completely recover from their autoimmune disease. This experience is what opened my eyes to distrust the conventional medical system. Hearing at the age of 12 that I would have crippled joints and rashes on my skin for the rest of my life was absolutely terrifying. And to think that I had to inject myself every single week until I died was a horrible thing to think about when I was 12 years old. And then to find out that it was all a lie and that I didn't have to go through all of that is really kind of unsettling. It's relieving to understand the truth now, but the trauma I went through when I was young will not be forgotten. And all the years of treatment that I went through is going to take some time to fully recover from. But the truth is, I'm really grateful for this experience because it's opened my eyes and caused me to question just about everything. Conventional medicine, nutrition, biology, a lot of science, but even things like evolution and genetics, there are lots of holes in, which I'll get into in future videos. And it's not the individual doctors that I distrust or despise, because most of them mean well. I think people want to help people when they get into medicine, but they're just led astray in their education. What I despise is the medical industrial complex itself. This is a system that's driven by profit, not public health, and benefits by making people sicker and sicker. So if you're anything like me and you're interested in uncovering the truth in these things like biology, nutrition, real medicine, and natural healing, I encourage you to go listen to people like Dr. Tom Cowan and Dr. Andrew Kaufman. These two have opened my eyes in ways that I really cannot explain, but I'll keep doing my best to share what I learn and spread the truth the way I understand it so that we can reclaim our health, separate ourselves from this profit-driven system, and live better, healthier lives.